Space was silent. Not peaceful, but silent in a strange, heavy way, like the universe was holding its breath. In the far corner of the galaxy, near a dying blue star, thousands of alien ships floated in formation. These ships belonged to the Zeller Dominion, a powerful and cruel species known for breaking planets and enslaving entire civilizations. For hundreds of years, the Zeller fleet had won every war. Every world bowed before them. Every enemy ran when their ships appeared. But tonight something felt different. Something felt wrong. On the command ship Zarkael, Commander Vorin stood on the bridge, staring into the holographic map. His long black armor reflected the dim, cold lights of the room. Around him, dozens of alien officers worked silently, too afraid to make noise. Vorin spoke calmly, but his voice carried danger. "Show me the next target." A hologram rose from the floor, a small planet, green and peaceful. A world with no army, no defenses, a perfect victim. One of the Zeller officers stepped forward. "Commander, this world sent a message of surrender. They are ready to obey the Dominion." Vorin smiled. A slow, cruel smile. "Surrender means nothing. Fear means nothing." He turned his back to the hologram and looked out into space. "When the Dominion arrives, there must be silence. No survivors. No hope." The officers nodded. They were used to destruction. They had destroyed dozens of planets. But even they felt something strange in the air today. A young officer, barely old enough to be in the fleet, finally spoke. "Commander, why are we gathering so many ships? This force is enough to attack 10 worlds." Vorin did not answer for a moment. Then he slowly turned. "We are not preparing for a normal enemy," he said. "We are preparing for humans." The entire bridge went silent. Humans? No alien species spoke that word casually. Humans were different. Small in number. Late to the galactic stage. Young compared to ancient empires. But humans had something dangerous inside them, something no one understood. Some aliens said humans were lucky. Some said humans were reckless. Some said humans were monsters pretending to be fragile. Whatever the truth was, one thing was certain. Humanity had survived every threat. And every time they survived, they came back stronger. Vorin looked at the officers. "Humans are expanding. They have new colonies near our borders. If they refuse to bow, they must be crushed before they grow stronger." The young officer swallowed nervously. "But, Commander, humans do not attack unless provoked." Vorin snorted. "Then we will provoke them." He turned back to the window and watched the dying star fade slowly. But before he could speak again, an alarm exploded across the bridge. Red lights flashed. Screen shook. Sensors screamed. A terrified officer yelled, "Commander! Massive hyperspace distortion detected. Something is coming." Vorin narrowed his eyes. "Which empire? Which fleet?" The officer's voice cracked. "Not an empire, sir. Not an alliance. It is them." The bridge fell silent again. But this time it was not respect. It was fear. The entire star system trembled as space exploded open. A dark, massive shape pushed out from hyperspace, like a mountain appearing from nothing. Then another warship appeared. Then another. Then another. Human ships. Not the old, small ones alien spies had reported. These were bigger. Sharper. Armored with deep black plating that looked almost alive. The Zeller Dominion had never seen human ships like this. The young officer whispered, "Commander, this is a full human armada." Vorin's heart froze for a moment. He watched the silent army of human warships spread across the void. No communication. No warning. Just cold silence. The humans had arrived. A communication request suddenly flashed on every screen. No one dared move. No one dared breathe. Vorin slowly nodded. "Open the channel." The screens turned black, then a single symbol appeared. The Human United Fleet. Then a deep, calm, powerful human voice filled the bridge. "Zeller Dominion. You crossed into our space. You attacked our colonies. You threatened our people." The voice paused. The Zeller officers trembled. "Now, humanity answers." The final line was delivered with the weight of 1,000 storms. "We do not run. We do not hide. We are here." The transmission cut. Human engines hummed like distant thunder. Their ships glowed with a silent, deadly power. Commander Vorin felt something he had not felt in centuries. Fear. The stars themselves looked like they were shaking. And the war had not even started yet. The silence between the two fleets felt like a living thing. The Zeller ships floated in tight formation, every weapon ready, every shield glowing. On the other side, the human armada remained perfectly still, like giant shadows waiting for the right moment to strike. Commander Vorin stared at the human ships with growing confusion. These were not the human designs he knew. The shapes were sharper. The armor was darker. And the engines burned with a strange blue fire he had never seen before. "What have the humans built?" he whispered. But no one answered him. Every Zeller officer stood frozen, eyes wide, watching the human fleet with silent fear. Then the sensors beeped again. "Commander," an officer said with shaking hands, "the humans, they are scanning us." Vorin clenched his jaw. "Of course they are. Prepare counter-scan." But the officer shook his head harder. "And no, sir. This is not normal scanning." His hands flew across the controls. "It feels like they are reading our fleet structure, our weapon systems, even our ship weaknesses." Vorin stepped forward. "How?" "Our technology blocks all foreign scans." The officer whispered. "Human technology has changed." A cold wave went through the bridge. The human command ship. Far across the battlefield, inside the largest human ship, HUS Retribution, Admiral Arya Hale stood at the center of her command deck. She was known across human space as a fearless strategist, a woman who had turned losing battles into victories. Her officers worked quickly but quietly. No panic. No fear. Just focus. A young human officer walked to her side. "Admiral, Zeller forces are in full battle formation. They outnumber us 3-1. Arya Hale nodded slowly. "They always outnumber us." Another officer added. "Enemy weapons locked. They are waiting for us to make the first move." Admiral Hale looked at the dark, trembling star outside her window. "We did not come here to start a war," she said. "We came to finish one." The officers exchanged glances. They knew what she meant. Months ago, Zeller ships had attacked a small human colony on the edge of the frontier. They destroyed homes, burned forests, and kidnapped hundreds of civilians. Humanity demanded answers. Zeller Dominion gave none. So the humans answered in their own way. With warships. Back to the Zeller fleet. The tension kept growing. Vorin tried to stay calm. "Weapons ready," he ordered. "Charge all plasma cannons." His command ship hummed as weapon cores heated. But then something strange appeared on the sensors. A tiny blip. Faint. Almost invisible. "What is that?" Vorin asked. An officer zoomed the display. "Commander, it's a single human ship leaving formation." Vorin frowned. "Only one? Why?" The room fell silent again as the small human vessel slowly floated forward. It had no weapons active. No shields raised. "Are the humans surrendering?" one officer asked. But Vorin knew better. Humans never surrendered. The ship stopped exactly halfway between the two fleets, hanging alone in the void. Then a message flashed across all Zeller screens. "Stand by for diplomatic transmission." A hologram flickered to life, a calm human officer with silver streaks in his hair. This was Ambassador Leon Ward, famous across the galaxy for his cold, precise negotiation skills. He spoke softly, but his voice carried power. "Zeller Dominion. Humanity offers one final chance." He paused. "Return our captured civilians. Retreat from human borders. And sign a peace agreement." The Zeller bridge erupted in laughter. Officers pointed at the screen, mocking the message. "Peace? From humans? Ridiculous. They are outnumbered. They are desperate." But Vorin did not laugh. He studied the ambassador's eyes, calm, confident, not afraid at all. It made him uncomfortable. He sent his own message back. "Human ambassador. Humanity has no power here. You speak of peace because you fear war." The ambassador tilted his head slightly. "No, Commander. We speak of peace so you may avoid what comes next." The bridge fell silent. Ambassador Ward continued. "This is your final warning." Vorin laughed now, a sharp, cruel sound. "Humans do not give warnings. Humans beg for mercy." The ambassador's calm expression didn't change. "Commander, you truly believe that?" Vorin raised his chin proudly. "The Dominion will crush you. The stars will burn with your defeat." For the first time the ambassador smiled, a small, cold smile. "Then look behind you. The second human fleet arrives." The Zeller officers quickly turned to their sensors. Their hearts stopped. Another massive hyperspace distortion appeared on the other side of the star. A second human fleet. Even larger than the first. Silent. Fast. Perfectly coordinated. The dying star shook violently as the new human ships appeared. row after row stretching across space like a steel horizon. For how long were they hiding? An officer screamed. Vorin stared in horror. Humans did not bring one armada. They brought two. The ambassador spoke again. You attacked our people. You took our families. His voice grew colder. Did you think we would come alone? The Zeller officers trembled. Some stepped back. Some whispered prayers. None had ever seen humans show this level of force. Ambassador Ward delivered the final line. Humanity does not fight for glory. Humanity fights for its people. He paused. And we never leave our people behind. The transmission cut. The human ship flew back to its fleet. Commander Vorin watched in silence, fear slowly crushing his pride. For the first time, the Zeller Dominion understood. Humanity had not come to negotiate. Humanity had come for justice. And the war was about to begin. Space felt tight, almost suffocating as two massive human fleets surrounded the Zeller Dominion forces. Thousands of alien ships floated inside the trap, unaware that the walls were about to close in. Commander Vorin felt sweat gathering under his armor. This was not how the Dominion expected the battle to begin. They were always the hunters, never the hunted. He turned to his officers sharply. Prepare all ships. Do not show weakness. We attack first. But even as he shouted, a strange silence filled the bridge. Every Zeller officer knew the truth. Humans were not showing fear. Humans were not retreating. Humans were waiting. Waiting for something. Vorin didn't know what. And that scared him more than any weapon. White medium-star human command ship, Retribution. Inside the enormous human flagship, Admiral Arya Hale studied the battlefield calmly. Her expression was emotionless, but her eyes were sharp as blades. Her officers waited for her command, hands hovering over weapons systems. A tactical officer spoke softly. Admiral, all Zeller ships are charging plasma cannons. They plan to fire first. Arya Hale nodded. As expected. Another officer adjusted the scanners. The Dominion fleet numbers. 2,800 warships. 400 siege destroyers. 12 dreadnoughts. They outnumber us heavily. Arya Hale smiled very faintly. They always outnumber us. She raised her hand slowly. Begin protocol Shadowfall. The officers straightened immediately. This protocol was sealed. Secret. Known only to the highest ranks of humanity. This would be the first time the galaxy ever witnessed its power. White medium-star Zeller command ship. Alarms echoed across the Zeller flagship. Commander. The human ships, they are activating something. What are they activating? Weapons? Shields? And no, sir. Something else. Something unknown. Vorin's eyes narrowed dangerously. Magnify visual. The main screen zoomed in on the human fleet. And the Zeller bridge fell into shocked silence. Every human ship was releasing a dark mist, thousands of tiny metallic particles flooding into space. What is that? Some kind of smoke? An officer asked. No, another whispered. It is nanotech. Vorin's heart skipped a beat. Human nanotech was illegal in the galaxy. Too powerful. Too unpredictable. No species had ever controlled it properly. But the humans had it. And they were unleashing it. The black cloud formed a massive curtain between the two fleets, stretching like wings across the battlefield. Vorin slammed his hands on the control table. Destroy that cloud. Fire at once. Thousands of plasma cannons lit up the sky as Zeller ships fired into the mist. But the moment the plasma hit the black cloud, the energy vanished. Absorbed. Consumed. Whispers filled the Zeller bridge. That is impossible. Nanotech cannot absorb that much energy. What have humans created? Vorin stared in horror. Humans hadn't brought a weapon. Humans had brought a new law of physics. White medium star the human move. Inside the Retribution, Admiral Hale spoke calmly. Shadowfall grid is complete. Enemy weapons neutralized. A young officer asked quietly. Admiral, do we attack now? Arya Hale shook her head. No. We let them attack first. We allow them to believe they have a chance. She nodded to the helmsman. Open comms to the Dominion. A communication channel instantly connected. Vorin's furious face appeared on screen. Human. What is this? What have you released? Arya Hale remained calm. You wanted war, Commander. Now you will see how humans fight. Her voice held no anger. Only truth. Vorin bared his teeth. You dare threaten the Dominion? Arya Hale leaned forward slightly. I'm not threatening you. I am warning you. Then she ended the call. White medium star the first shot. Vorin roared. All ships, fire everything. And the greatest barrage in Dominion history began. Thousands of plasma bolts. Millions of energy pulses. A river of fire. The sky turned into a storm of burning light. Every Zeller weapon aimed straight at the human fleet. The stars trembled under the sheer force. But the humans did not move. The Shadowfall nanotech cloud expanded, opened its wings, and swallowed the entire attack. The Zeller watched in horror as all their weapons dissolved into harmless sparks. It was impossible. Unbelievable. Unthinkable. But it had happened. For the first time in Dominion history, their full power had done nothing. White medium star the human counterattack begins. Admiral Hale raised her hand. All ships, prepare to fire. Her voice remained steady, calm, cold. Target their engines. Do not destroy their ships unless necessary. We want them alive. Officers nodded. Phase cannons ready. Mass drivers locked. Rail batteries charged. Arya Hale looked at her officers and simply said, Begin. The command deck shook as the first wave of human weapons fired. Silent blue beams shot across space. Massive kinetic rounds punched through the vacuum like thunder. Every shot hit perfectly. No misses. No wasted fire. Zeller ships exploded, engines shattered, systems died instantly. The Dominion's mighty fleet began to collapse in seconds. From the bridge windows, it looked like a black ocean tearing apart. Zeller officers panicked. We cannot penetrate their defenses. Our weapons do nothing. We are losing ships rapidly. Commander Vorin gripped his command table so tightly his claws cracked the metal. This is impossible. But it wasn't. It was human strategy. Human technology. Human fury. And humans were just getting started. White medium star human message to the Zeller. Amid the chaos, all surviving Zeller ships suddenly received a new message. A single sentence repeated slowly. You wanted war. Now you face humanity. Space was burning. Explosions flashed across the Zeller formation like bright wounds tearing open the night. Human weapons cut through alien ships with sharp, perfect precision. No wasted shots. No hesitation. Commander Vorin watched helplessly as his mighty fleet, a fleet feared by half the galaxy, collapsed under the humans' controlled, relentless assault. What are their weapons made of? An officer whispered, voice shaking. No one answered. No one could. Every Zeller ship that tried to escape was disabled instantly. Every ship that tried to fight was destroyed. Every ship that tried to communicate was silenced. The Dominion had entered this battle believing themselves untouchable. Now they were learning the truth. Humans were not prey. Humans were hunters. White medium star Dominion bridge. Panic rises. Smoke filled the Zeller command ship. Sparks fell from broken screens. Crew members rushed to seal damaged panels, their hands trembling. Commander, one officer cried, 9 of our dreadnoughts are down. 70% of our fleet is disabled. Another added. We are surrounded. We have no path to retreat. Vorin felt his chest tighten. How did this happen so fast? He thought. How did humans evolve so quickly? But before he could speak, a massive shockwave slammed into their ship. The bridge shook violently. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed. We have been hit. Our shields are gone. We cannot take another strike. Vorin grabbed a support rail to stay standing. Identify the source of the attack. The officer zoomed in the long-range view. Every Zeller officer froze. On the screen was a single human destroyer, small, fast, almost harmless-looking. It was glowing. Commander, the officer whispered, that human ship is firing some kind of gravitational beam. Vorin stared shocked. That is not possible. Gravitational weapons do not exist. The officer shook his head fearfully. They do now. White medium star human fleet. Retribution. Inside the central human flagship, Admiral Arya Hale studied the battlefield calmly, her hands behind her back. Her officers reported the situation. Admiral, Dominion ships can no longer track our vessels. Shadowfall nanotech has eaten 40% of their sensors. Outer Zeller formations are collapsing. Grav beam testing is successful. Enemy dreadnoughts cannot resist the pull. Arya Hale nodded slowly. Continue pushing them inward. We want their command ship alive. A tactical officer asked. Admiral, why save their leader? The Admiral turned to him. Because the galaxy must hear what happens today. The Dominion must understand what happens when they threaten human lives. Her voice did not rise. It did not shake. It simply carried truth. White medium star, the trap closes. The two human armadas began to move. Not fast. Not aggressive. Just steady and unstoppable. Like two giant walls closing in on a cornered animal. The Zeller fleet tried to scatter. But every time a ship tried to break formation, a precise human shot targeted its engines. The result was the same. Ship after ship, dead in space. One officer on the Zeller bridge screamed, "Why are the humans not finishing us? Why are they leaving us alive?" Another replied, trembling, They are hurting us." The word spread across the Dominion fleet. Hurting. Humans were not just attacking. Humans were controlling the battlefield like chess players. The Dominion fleet had become pieces. And humans were moving them. Commander Voran slammed his fists on the console. Fight back, you cowards." But no one listened. The officers looked at him with wide, hopeless eyes. "Our weapons do nothing. Our ships cannot move. We are defeated." The words tasted like poison. Voran shook with rage. "Humans cannot defeat the Dominion. We are stronger. We are." A sudden explosion cut him off. A massive human rail slug tore through a Zeller warship outside, splitting it in half. The shockwave shook Voran's ship again. This time, the commander stayed silent. White medium star, a human message, final warning. Suddenly, every Zeller screen flickered. Burned-out displays sparked and then turned clear. A human face appeared. Admiral Arya Hale. Her calm eyes studied the terrified aliens. "Zeller Dominion," she spoke softly. "You have lost." Her voice held no anger. No cruelty. Only truth. "You attacked our colonies. You stole our people. You threatened our homes." The bridge fell silent. "And now," she continued, "you stand in the shadow of human justice." Voran roared in frustration. "Human. You will suffer for this." Admiral Hale tilted her head slightly. "Commander, you do not understand." Her voice grew colder. "You are not facing humanity's full power." Voran stopped breathing. "What you see today," she said, "is only one of our fleets. Humanity has thousands." The Zeller officers felt like the floor vanished beneath them. Thousands? They couldn't even survive two. Hale continued. "You have one chance left. Surrender now." Voran shook his head violently. "Never." He raised his arm as if giving an invisible order. And for a moment, a very short moment, he believed he still had control. But then a final message arrived from the human fleet. A single sentence. "We warned you. White medium star, human strike. The sky breaks." The humans fired in perfect unity. A wave of blue energy. Rail slugs traveling at impossible speed. Silent beams cutting through engines with surgical precision. Explosive pulses ripping through armor. For every human shot, a Zeller ship fell. For every human order, a Dominion vessel drifted lifeless. The sky lit up with destruction. The dying star shook with every blast. The Dominion fleet, once unstoppable, now looked like burning debris floating in the void. Voran stood frozen, staring at the destruction of everything he once believed in. "Humans, they are monsters," he whispered. "No," a trembling officer replied. "They are something worse." Voran turned slowly. "They are inevitable." The battlefield was no longer a battlefield. It had become a graveyard of metal and fire. Broken Zeller ships drifted like shattered bones. Engines flickered weakly. Debris floated across the empty sky. Human warships moved through the wreckage like silent giants, watching every movement, ready for anything. For the first time in centuries, the Dominion fleet was truly defeated. But the humans were not finished. They wanted someone. They wanted Commander Voran alive. White medium star Zeller command ship, final defense. Inside his damaged flagship, Voran struggled to stay upright. The bridge was filled with smoke. Panels sparked. Lights flickered. Some crew lay injured on the ground. "Commander!" an officer shouted, panic rising. "Human boarding ships are approaching. 10, no, 20 of them." Voran's eyes widened. "Boarding? Humans want to board us?" The officer nodded quickly. "They are trying to take this ship intact." Voran's claws tightened around the command rail. "Prepare every soldier," he roared. "We will fight them room by room. Let the humans taste Zeller blood." But even as he shouted, a voice echoed across the bridge. A cold, calm human voice. "Commander Voran, your ship is surrounded. Surrender now." It came from the human flagship. Voran turned toward the intercom and screamed. "Never. You hear me? Never." His voice echoed through the dying ship. Silence answered him, followed by thud, thud, thud. Heavy metallic sounds echoed across the hull. The humans had arrived. White medium-star human elite unit, the Black Spears. The Zeller soldiers waited inside the corridor, weapons ready, hands shaking. Then the wall blew open. Clean, precise, controlled. From the smoke stepped human soldiers in dark armor. Their helmets had glowing blue visors. Their movements were smooth and deadly. Their silence was terrifying. These were the Black Spears, humanity's elite boarding unit. Zeller soldiers opened fire immediately. Plasma bolts filled the corridor with bright green light. But the humans didn't fall, didn't slow, didn't even flinch. Energy shields flared around their bodies, absorbing every hit. One of the human soldiers raised his arm. A blue pulse shot forward. It hit the Zeller group like a hammer. Every alien soldier flew backward, crashing into the walls, unconscious. The humans moved deeper into the ship. Room after room. Hall after hall. They advanced like a storm. Nothing stopped them. White medium-star Voron's last stand. Voron watched the corridor camera feeds. Every screen showed the same thing. Humans moving closer. Unstoppable. Precise. Silent. Fear twisted inside him. He turned away from the screens and barked. All remaining soldiers to the bridge. This is our final stand. Only 7 soldiers appeared. 7. The Dominion's strongest fleet, reduced to 7 defenders. Voron felt a moment of despair. But pride forced him to stand tall. We fight to the end, he said. Though his voice shook. The door shook. Metal twisted. Smoke seeped through the cracks. Then, boom. The bridge door blew open. Human soldiers marched in. Their armor glowed with cold blue lines. Their weapons were raised but not firing. They stood firm, unmoving, like statues of war. Voron charged at them with a roar. One last desperate attack. But before he reached them, a human spear of blue energy appeared at his throat. The Black Spear captain stepped forward. Commander Voron, he said calmly, you are under arrest for crimes against humanity. Voron snarled, but he could not move. The spear stayed at his neck. Behind the soldiers, Admiral Arya Hale herself entered the bridge through a glowing portal. She looked at Voron with cold, steady eyes. Your war ends now. Voron spat. You think this changes anything? The Dominion will rebuild. We will return. Arya Hale stepped closer. Her voice remained emotionless. Return where? She gestured to the holoscreen. The display zoomed out, revealing that the entire Dominion invasion fleet had been destroyed or captured. Voron's anger faded, replaced by horror. What have you done? Arya Hale answered softly. We have ended your invasion. We have saved our people. And today, we have shown the galaxy what happens when you threaten humanity. The human soldiers seized Voron and the remaining Zeller officers. For the first time in his life, Commander Voron felt helpless. Humans had not just defeated the Dominion. They had broken its pride. White medium star, a new galactic message. Across the galaxy, human communication buoys activated. They carried a single broadcast. The Dominion's fleet has fallen. Commander Voron is in custody. Human civilians will be returned safely. Humanity does not start wars. But humanity ends them. People from hundreds of worlds watched the news in shock. Some cheered. Some cried. Some trembled. But all understood one thing. Humans had changed. Humans had evolved. Humans were no longer the weak newcomers. They were a force the galaxy could no longer ignore. White medium star, the human's next move. As Voron was dragged away in restraints, he screamed. This is not over. The Dominion will rise again. You cannot stop an empire. Admiral Hale looked at him one last time. We do not need to destroy your empire, she said quietly. We only need to show the galaxy who you truly are. She turned away as human ships began towing surviving Zeller vessels. The Dominion had attacked humanity. But humanity had answered. Not with fear. Not with retreat. But with power. With unity. With purpose. And the galaxy felt the impact. Not because the fight has stopped, but because every Zeller ship now realizes something terrifying. Humanity is not fighting at full power. Not even close. Commander Hale stands inside the command center of the Horizon Spear. The lights flash red, alarms beep, but his voice stays calm. Damage report, he says. Shields at 40%, but stable, the officer replies. Hale nods. He turns his eyes toward a large circular device resting in the center of the ship. Black metal, glowing faintly, as if something inside it wants to wake up. The device is called the Black Sun Core. Humans designed it only for one purpose: to end wars instantly. But it has never been used before. Not even during the worst battles. Because once the Black Sun is activated, nothing survives in the target zone. Nothing. Not ships. Not planets. Not even light. The crew watches Hale quietly. They know he never wanted this. Humanity never wanted to become a monster. But the Zeller Dominion forced their hand. Hale gives a single command: prepare the Black Sun Protocol. The officers freeze. Even the toughest soldiers swallow hard. One of them whispers, "Sir, are you sure?" Hale closes his eyes for a moment. He remembers destroyed human colonies, dead civilians, burned cities. He remembers the screams recorded from Zeller attacks. He opens his eyes again. Yes, this war must end. The enemy senses something. On the Zeller flagship, the High Overlord feels a strange wave of energy spreading through space. What are the humans doing? He growls. His sensors officer shakes in fear. Sir. Their central ship, it is building energy at a level we have never seen. It is like a star collapsing. The Overlord steps closer to the hologram. No, not collapsing, he whispers. He stares at the growing sphere of darkness forming around the human ship. A new star, a Black Sunday. Every Zeller warrior on the bridge steps back. Because they know the ancient stories. Stories about the first humans, the early experiments, the forbidden technologies. Technologies that even alien empires fear. One Zeller captain shouts, "We must retreat." But the Overlord roars. No. If humans use this weapon, they will become a force no one can challenge. We must destroy them now. He orders every ship in the Zeller fleet to fire. Thousands of beams, missiles, and plasma bolts fly toward Hale's ship. The space around the horizon sphere turns white with explosions. But Hale does not move. He simply says, "Hold the line." The human fleet's last stand. Human ships reposition themselves. Some are burning. Some are almost broken. But every single one forms a defensive wall around the horizon sphere. They protect the Black Sun Core with their lives. Captain Riva on the ship Iron Gale shouts across comms. Keep firing. Do not let a single Zeller ship reach the core. Another captain, blood on his forehead, yells. Even if our ship dies, the mission must live. Human destroyers charge forward like steel wolves. They ram Zeller ships. They explode themselves to create debris shields. The Zeller fleet numbers drop. But so do human ships. One by one lights go dark. One by one, names disappear from Hale's display. Hale clenches his fist but stays silent. He watches friends die. He watches brave soldiers give everything. Humanity always pays the price. But humanity never breaks. The Black Sun awakens. The Black Sun Core finally reaches full power. A sphere of dark energy forms above the ship, slow at first, then spinning faster and faster. It looks like a tiny black star. The air vibrates. Metal plates shake. Space bends. The crew can barely stand. An officer gasps, "Sir? The core is ready." Hale takes a breath. Transmit final warning to the Zeller. A loud human voice echoes across the enemy fleet. Zeller Dominion. This is your final chance. Surrender, or be erased. The Zeller Overlord laughs. You humans think you can frighten us? You are small. We are great. Your son will die before you kill us. Hale doesn't reply. He simply gives the order. Release the Black Sun. The sphere collapses inward, then explodes outward with silent, black light. A wave spreads across space. Not bright. Not loud. But cold, dark, unstoppable. Every Zeller ship it touches freezes in place. Energy dies. Engines die. Metal cracks. One by one, Zeller warships crumble into dust. As if the universe itself is erasing them. The Overlord screams, but no sound escapes his ship before it dissolves into nothing. The Black Sun wave keeps expanding. And the battlefield becomes empty. Silent. Dead. Only the human fleet remains, battered, broken but alive. The darkness fades. Hale stands in silence. The war is not over yet. But for the first time, the galaxy understands why the stars tremble when humans arrive. The battlefield is quiet. The Black Sun wave has ended. The light has returned to normal space. But the galaxy will never forget what happened here. Human ships float in the darkness, wounded but standing like iron giants. Inside the horizon sphere, Commander Hale looks at the battlefield. Thousands of Zeller ships, gone. The Overlord, gone. The Dominion, broken. But Hale is not smiling. Victory feels heavy. Too many human ships have gone silent. Too many names are gone from the screen. He whispers, "Your sacrifice will not be forgotten." The survivors gather. Human ships slowly form up. Engines flicker, shields spark, hulls glow red from heat. The surviving captains appear on Hale's holo display. Captain Riva, still covered in dust and blood, salutes. "Commander, most of our ships are damaged, but we can still move." Another captain adds, "The Zeller fleet is destroyed. The path to their homeworld is open." The crew murmurs. The Zeller are defeated, but not extinct. Their homeworld still stands. Their remaining armies still breathe. Hale thinks for a moment. "No," he says softly. "We are not going to destroy their world." The bridge falls silent. Everyone expected humanity to strike the final blow. But Hale continues. "Humans are not destroyers. We do not kill entire species. We end wars, not civilizations." An unexpected signal. Before anyone can respond, the sensors officer gasps. "Commander." Receiving a transmission. Not human, not Zeller. A strange symbol appears on the main screen. A swirling golden crest. A symbol older than most known empires. Hale narrows his eyes. "Open it." A hologram forms. A tall creature, glowing with faint light, with eyes like twin suns. The crew steps back in shock. Everyone knows the stories. The myths. The warnings. The Aurelians. A race so ancient that they are older than star clusters. They do not interfere. They only watch. But today, they speak. The Aurelian envoy looks at Hale with calm, powerful eyes. "Humanity," it speaks, voice echoing like thunder and wind together. "You have changed the balance of the galaxy." Hale stays firm. "We fought to survive." The Aurelian nods. "And you succeeded. But your weapon, the Black Sun, it is forbidden. Even we cannot control such power." Hale stands strong. "We did not use it to conquer. We used it to protect our people." The Aurelian studies him closely. "Yes. And that is why we do not judge you as criminals. Instead, we offer you a choice." The crew holds their breath. A choice from an ancient race? No human has ever received something like this. The offer. The Aurelian raises a glowing hand. "Humanity has shown strength, bravery, and will. But power like yours will draw enemies even more dangerous than the Zeller." Hale steps forward. "What do you want from us?" The Aurelian speaks slowly. "We want an alliance." Everyone freezes. "An alliance? With the oldest species in the galaxy?" The Aurelian continues. "The galaxy will fear you. Some will try to destroy you. Others will try to control you. But if you stand with us, no empire will dare touch you." Hale looks at his officers. They do not speak, but he sees it in their eyes. Hope, fear, possibility, the decision. Hale turns back to the Aurelian. "If humanity accepts, what do you expect from us?" "Only this," the Aurelian answers. "Do not use the Black Sun again, unless the galaxy itself is in danger. And when we call for your help, you will answer." Hale pauses. He thinks of the destroyed colonies, the many human lives lost, the danger still waiting across the stars. Then he nods. "Humanity accepts." The Aurelian bows its shining head. Then a new age begins. The hologram fades. The future of the galaxy. Hale stands tall. "Prepare a message," he orders. "To all human colonies. To all allied worlds. Let them know. The war is over." A wave of cheers erupts across the ship. Humans won. Not by hate. Not by chaos. But by courage and unity. The surviving ships fly together, leaving the silent battlefield behind. The stars seem to glow brighter as they pass. As if honoring humanity. As if bowing to them. Because the galaxy now knows a truth that will echo for thousands of years. When human warships arrive, the stars themselves tremble.